The North Central College baseball team drops below 500 as they fall in the series finale to Illinois Wesleyan 7-6 in extra innings. We look at how they hope to respond as they make a push for the postseason right now on the Cardinal Report. Welcome to the Cardinal Report. I'm Marc Dahlquist. Joining me to start things off this week is head coach for the baseball team, John Fitzgerald. Coach, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So obviously a tough series to Wesleyan. You guys dropped 3 games in a row to them, but still this team's right in the thick of it in a hunt for the CCIW tournament.
Yeah, you know, it was obviously not the kind of weekend we wanted to have going into it. Hindsight being 20/20, you look back at it, and I think it's legitimate that we probably should have been able to win 2 out of 3. And that's the unfortunate part because you don't get an opportunity back at them again. So we kind of dug a hole for ourselves this weekend, but we are in the thick, and the league is a little bit different dynamic-wise this year, maybe a little bit more last year. It started to turn, but no weekend's easy, and everybody's really kind of in the thick of it right now. So with other people beating each other up a little bit too, it's probably going to come down to that final weekend to really know who the top 4 teams are going to be.
Yeah, 2 of those games against Wesleyan, you guys lose by 1 run. More than half your games, you guys have lost by 1 or 2 runs. It really shows that this team's really in there. We
are, and we're obscenely close. And, you know, I think for the most part of however many of those 1-run losses we have, it's more a fact of we've beaten ourselves at times. And some of that's a maturation part. Some of that's, we obviously have a lot of new guys in the lineup this year that we didn't last year. Some guys have played in different positions. It's just a matter of kind of working itself through. It's a short season from a week standpoint and a month standpoint. I mean, you're really going from March to the first week in May, but it's long from the standpoint that every game really carries quite a bit of significance. Mm-hmm. And as you go on and go through those, you can get hot in a hurry. And we're obscenely close. It's just a matter of really being a little bit more consistent.
The team got hot those final couple innings against Wesleyan. You got to be proud of the way the team fought and able to push that one into the first extra inning game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, the fight has really pretty much been there when we've had our backs against the wall. I don't have any complaints about that. It's getting to the point where maybe we shouldn't have even had to go extra innings or fight to get back late in the ball game. I think it's more between the ears than anything else, and I think that's a different dynamic that a lot of our guys are starting to deal with, and we probably as a team too. It's not as easy as it was maybe in high school from a pure talent level standpoint for some of our guys making the transition. So you're dealing with a little bit more adversity for the first time in your careers, and I think that's tough sometimes.
Well, you guys were definitely tough on Sunday, and the Cardinal Report was there to see the team battle to the very end against the Titans. Let's check out the highlight. The North Central baseball team fell to Illinois Wesleyan in both games of a doubleheader Saturday. Sunday, they were hoping to hand them their first conference loss. Top of the 4th with the Cardinals leading 3-0. They try to end the inning with a double play, but Vita Durango's throw gets away from John Fitzgerald, and the Titans are on the board. Same inning, Anthony Lopez gets some help from the dirt as it bounces past Selkis. Wesleyan would tack on another run, but Zach Pakinowski wants to get out of his armor. He tracks down Lopez, trying to stretch it into a double to keep it at 3-2. Game now tied in the top of the 5th, and Ben Cruzen loses a hold of one. Matt Workman puts the Titans in front as he dashes home. The next pitch is in the zone, but Kevin Callahan takes advantage and finds the gap as the Titans take a 2-run lead. Cardinals now down 3 in the 7th with runners at the corners. Kevin Hennessy gives this one a ride deep to center. Titans make the play, but a run comes in to cut the lead to 2. They chip away some more in the 8th inning as Tom Ross lines one over the second baseman's head. Joe Paparone crosses the plate to pull the hosts within 1. North Central down to its last out in the 9th. Matt Brancato plays the hero, sending the left fielder way back. Titans can't get to it, and the Cardinals send it to extras. But in the 10th, Pakinowski lets one get away, and Zach Scott moves into scoring position. Wesleyan wasted no time capitalizing as Tim Coonan sends one up the middle. Scott races home, and North Central can't make the play. Cardinals fall to 3-5 in conference play. Coach, so obviously a tough one, but you mentioned it before. A lot of new guys in the lineup this year. How does that affect you as a coach, sort of helping these guys get acclimated? Because, I mean, you're already midway through the season right now.
We are, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. You know, from a coaching standpoint, there's really no replacement for just experience and being out there and playing. And unfortunately, with kind of how we're limited from a game standpoint, and obviously the weeks we talked about, it's just a matter of really getting guys out there continually. I mean, the nice thing about baseball is you're going to play multiple games per week. And on a weekend set, you're going to play 1 or 2 the next day. So you really need to have a short memory. And I think that's something that we've struggled with a little bit, is guys can make mistakes. It's what you do after that fact. And being able to kind of have a short memory and forget about it, because you're going to have 4 or 5 innings where you can still make a fight and come back in the ball game. When you start to fester and let some of those mistakes linger a little bit too much in your head, and then you don't take advantage of the opportunity 2 or 3 that comes along within that same game, then that's where it gets very difficult to come back late in a ball game and you find yourself with your back against the wall. So I think it's our guys just need to mature and not take so much into each play and each mistake more than anything else. That, I mean, the game's based on failure, and it's really how you deal with that and come back from it that's going to allow you to be successful. Yeah, it's almost like you need a short memory in this game. Who are the guys that you look to as a coach to sort of help some of these younger players along? Boy, you know, we're not horribly veteran from the standpoint of, you know, a lot of our teams in our league are probably have about 5 or 6 seniors in their lineup right now. And you can see some differences from that standpoint. Some of our guys are a little bit older, but they're playing new positions this year. Zach Pakinowski, who we'll be visiting with here momentarily, is a catcher who's been in our program for 3 years now. And obviously in that position alone, it creates a little bit of leadership and it demands a little bit of leadership. And he's been very good from that standpoint. But I mean, I think our guys need to get together as a whole collectively to kind of be able to work through some of these days that might be a little bit more difficult, like this weekend was. Well, hopefully the team can work through that. Don't go away, because we continue to break down the Cardinals with Coach Fitzgerald right after this.